Doctors pull the unimaginable out of a lady's nose. A 24-year-old lady named Daniela Liviani from Edinburgh, which is the capital of Scotland. Anyway, she's a backpacker. So I didn't know what a backpacker really was, so I looked it up. I was thinking it's just a hiker, but it's something different. They say that a backpacker is a person who travels with a backpack. I know what you're saying, duh. But it's usually a person who doesn't spend very much money, and they stay in places that are free or very inexpensive. They pretty much travel on a tight budget. So Daniela decided to backpack through Southeast Asia. She went to Vietnam and Cambodia, just to name a couple. So when she was in Asia, she had a motorcycle accident. She was okay, so she didn't really even think much about it. But when she returned back home, she started getting frequent nosebleeds, and this carried on for weeks. She didn't go immediately to the doctor because she chalked it up to maybe busting a blood vessel from when she had her bike accident. But she started to see thick blood coming from her nostril, so she thought it was just a blood clot dripping from her nose. So she ended up going to the emergency room. So when they took her to the back room to examine her nose, they saw something. So they grabbed a tweezer and nose forceps and began digging in her nose until they can grab what was causing the bleeds and the pain. And while they were pulling, she started to feel something tugging and holding on inside of her nose. Do you want to know what it was? It was a leech. It was 3 inches long, the size of one of your fingers, and the width of your thumb. They pulled it out of her nose. It's been living up there for a month. So how did she miss a leech in her nose? She didn't even really notice the leech until she was in the shower. So she goes into the bathroom and she runs the hot water and she gets the bathroom steamy, and she gets into the shower and the steam and water is reaching her nose and her nasal passage, and it's opening it up wide. And while she was lathering herself up, she said that the animal would come out of her nose pretty far, about to her lip, and she would see it out the corner of her eye. So she jumps out of the shower one day and wipes off the mirror and looks, and she sees little ridges on him. So she has a blood-sucking parasite living in her nose and not paying any rent. And once it was out of her nose at the hospital, she told them to save it for her, and she named it Curly. She took it home, she boiled the leech, and then she threw it in the trash can. That's wild shh. So what do you think of this story? Do you think you would have noticed a leech in your nose? How do you think she got the leech? They say she might have got it while she was swimming in the pond. Do you swim in ponds? Let me know what you think below. Leave me your comments in the comments section. Let's talk about it. And thank you for tuning in to another episode of Wild Shh.